Hello, I'm here to talk about the poem Refugee Blues written by W.H. Auden. This poem was written on March 1939 when anti Semitism was at its raging peak. This poem laments on the plight of Jews who were threatened to leave their mother country before the Holocaust to the modern democracies and the indifferences and the antagonism they faced while seeking asylum there. This poem is considered as one of the most significant responses in the context of violation of human rights of the Jews of Europe. This video will include a short explanation of the poem along with citing a few literary devices which is being used here.
Say, this city has 10 million souls. Some are living in mansions, some are living in holes. Yet there's no place for us, my dear. Yet there's no place for us. Once we had a country and we thought it fair. Look in the atlas and you'll find it there. We cannot go there now, my dear. We cannot go there now. In the village churchyard there grows an old yew. Every spring it blossoms anew. Old passports can't do that, my dear. Old passports can't do that. The consul banged the table and said, "If you've got no passport, you're officially dead." But we are still alive, my dear. But we are still alive. Went to a committee. They offered me a chair, asked me politely to return next year. But where shall we go today, my dear? But where shall we go today? Came to a public meeting. The speaker got up and said, "If we let them in, they will steal our daily bread." He was talking of you and me, my dear. He was talking of you and me. Thought I heard the thunder rumbling in the sky. It was Hitler over Europe saying, "They must die." Oh, we were in his mind, my dear. Oh, we were in his mind. Saw a poodle in a jacket fastened with a pin. Saw a door opened and a cat let in. But they weren't German Jews, my dear. But they weren't German Jews. Went down the harbor and stood upon the quay. Saw the fish swimming as if they were free. Only 10 feet away, my dear, only 10 feet away. Walked through a wood, saw the birds in the trees. They had no politicians and sang at their ease. They weren't the human race, my dear. They weren't the human race. Dreamed I saw a building with 1,000 floors and 1,000 windows and 1,000 doors. Not one of them was ours, my dear. Not one of them was ours. Stood on a great plain in the falling snow. 10,000 soldiers marched to and fro, looking for you and me, my dear, looking for you and me.
The background of this poem is set in 20th century when Germany was ruled by Hitler, who was an autocrat. He persecuted millions of Jews in the name of ethnic cleansing. This genocide of Jews came to be known as Holocaust. So many of the Jews, in fright of Hitler, fled to different countries seeking refuge. This poem is also about such a refugee who seeks refuge in New York City with his lover. He represents all the refugees who were received with hostile treatment in their immigrant country. In the beginning of the poem, the speaker says that there are 10 million souls in New York City. The rich ones live in huge mansions, while the poor ones live in holes. But he and his lover, being refugees, don't even have a place for themselves in this big city. There are instances in the poem that says that the refugee and his lover are not being welcomed by the people and the country. When they approaches a consul, an officer who is in charge of the issues of the immigrants, he says that they are officially dead because they don't have any proof in document to state otherwise. In public meetings, the people are told not to trust or take in any refugees in their country because they will steal their daily bread and use all their natural resources which are actually meant for the citizens of the country. The speaker sees that a poodle dog being covered in a jacket properly and a cat being let inside through a door, while he and his lover are all alone in the cold night. These imageries suggests that even animals are getting better treatment than refugees. The birds singing in the tree and the fish swimming freely in the pond make the speaker think that they enjoy so much freedom because unlike human beings, they don't have a politician to control their actions and thoughts.
The speaker dreams about 1,000 buildings with 1,000 floors, 1,000 doors, and 1,000 windows, and realizes that not a single one belongs to them. The poem ends with the deep fright of the Jew at the thought of being hunted down by the Hitler's army. The sight of the soldiers marching to and fro haunts them. They know that these soldiers are looking for them, and if caught, they'll be mercilessly tortured or persecuted by the army just because they are of Jewish race. Now, let's see to the techniques used in the poem to intensify the emotions. Figure of speeches like pun and hyperbole are used. Starting with the construction of the poem, it's written in 12 stanzas of 3 lines each. The phrase gets repeated in the last lines of each stanza. This intensifies the emotional impact of the poem. Old passports are being compared to yew tree, which is a comparison between nature and culture. The speaker sees the yew tree blossoming anew every spring. He wonders if the same goes for the passports too. Unlike the tree, it doesn't get naturally renewed every year. The word chair is a pun used in the poem. It has got 2 meanings. One is seat, the literal meaning itself. The next one refers to the position they are being offered by the committee. In the poem, the speaker and his lover are offered a chair but is asked to come back next year. It is an indication of their hypocrisy.
The phrase, steal our daily bread, is being used in the poem. Daily bread is a part of the Catholic prayers. This expression is used to indicate the innate hypocrisy of the people of faith. The use of hyperbole can be spotted in many parts of the poem when the speaker says that he sees 10 million souls, 1,000 buildings with 1,000 floors and 1,000 windows, and 10,000 soldiers. The use of hyperbole is to indicate the magnitude of arrogance the people have towards the Jewish refugees. There is a repetition of the phrases of the last lines of each of the stanza, along with the insertion of the word dear frequently. This makes the poem very touching, emotional, and powerful. The rhyming scheme used in the poem is AAB. The title Refugee Blues has its own significance as well. Blue is generally referred as a song that laments on depression. Here, Refugee Blues becomes a lamenting song for the plight of Jews.